Hi, I'm Angified. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings,
And ourselves.
we stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this shining world heroes among us in every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You will find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find, with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts, together we can grow a better place, with love in us all. And you will find, together we can save it all. And you will find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a better place, a whole new world It's that time. Angified presents Glass Garden. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, Angie, how you doing?
Oh, it's so great to have you with me tonight.
Thanks. I'm happy to be on.
We're going to have so much fun.
We're listening to some fun music, so how can we not?
That's right. And music's always fun and uplifting and move you in one way or another.
That it is.
I have to ask, Glass, where did you come from? Like your grandparents or great grandparents? Like, is this like something that runs through your blood because you seem very natural at it?
Kind of. So I grew up in not a super musical household, but definitely that was something that was common. My dad and my mom always played at church and played church music. And so that was kind of my first exposures to music, really. I remember playing Legos and adjusting monitor levels for my dad. And so it's kind of something that I've always been around. And in particular, something that was actually kind of kicked me into high gear really was the fact that we lived next door to a family that truly was a musical family. The father, his name was Jeff. He was a professional musician off and on. He was actually an engineer by trade, but he played a guitar incredibly well. And then the kids, they all still play music. As a matter of fact, one of them, he's a jazz pianist in Seattle, one of the best that I've ever heard. He's got somewhere around 300 to 500 songs memorized in his head that he can drop out of thin air. So like that's the kind of people that I grew up with. And so, and of course, so that's kind of how I got fostered into music and how I all got started.
Well, how can I rent your bubble? Because that seems so awesome. Surrounded by all of that and all the different like types of music and genres. That's why you play so many different things.
Yeah, I do. I love a lot of different kinds of music, and I love it enough that I want to write a lot of different types because there's more than one.
Absolutely. And so you said you started out in like choir with church, right?
Yeah, actually, the first musical group I was ever a part of was a choir.
Nice. Nice. Did you play any instruments like in the choir? Because like sometimes they include in church.
No, not as much. The first thing I ever really did was I did. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it,
see, I'm trying to back to you now.
Yeah, like I said, just ever since I was 7, I've been off and on involved in church music. And I've been part of like a bunch of like different children's choirs, but where I started actually getting serious was when I tried. I decided that I wanted to learn guitar when I was 12, and too many strings confused me. So then, like 6 months after that, I put it down. And I was like, wait, bass has 4 strings. I can handle 4 strings. So then I started playing bass in a garage grunge band with me and my next door neighbor. He was the drummer, and then another kid.
Oh, awesome. Now I'm hearing when I listen to your music where some of that's coming from. That is so cool. So you went from guitar to bass guitar, and you're hitting middle school, high school now, right?
Yeah, so I'd been still helping out at church and still playing in my grunge band. And basically, the more music that I got exposed to, the more I was like, I like heavier and more intense stuff. But it's kind of funny because when I was growing up, I grew up listening to 90s country. So Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn, Dixie Chicks, like Shania Twain, that stuff lives rent free in my head eternally. You put on Man, I Feel Like a Woman, I'm singing. That's just but at the same time, I was still always looking for something that was a little bit more intense. So then I started listening to things like Linkin Park. That was actually the very first thing I ever recorded vocally. was my friends next door. They had Cakewalk and they were recording like crazy, and we all really like Linkin Park. And so like, hey, well, Matt, why don't you sing Points of Authority? And so that was the very first thing I ever sang when I was, 13, 14. And
Wow.
and then as
killer though.
Oh yeah, it's a great song. It's tons of fun. So then through high school, I just started listening to more and more stuff and started getting more into hard rock.
So you like all the other genres out there, but you find yourself more with the hard rock, the grunge, the metalish.
Nowadays, it constantly changes for me, to be perfectly honest. When I was in high school, it was a really, I really liked a lot of really, really acoustic driven stuff. So like, for instance, John Mayer, Phil Keaggy, those kinds of artists, like I really was inspired by. So I spent a ton of time, especially once I got into high school, I spent a lot of time getting better at acoustic guitar. I loved it. But then also a lot of times I spent a lot of time, that's when I started getting involved with electric and started like playing things like Breaking Benjamin. And so I've always had a little bit of duality to me. And then at high school, I was in jazz choir. So multi-genre study has just been throughout my entire life.
Incredible. I want to study your brain. I want to pick your brain back now. I love music. It's my therapy,
Same.
Your parents, did they play any instruments, or did they listen to like a certain type of music as well? Like when you were younger, that you were maybe mom listened to Pat Benatar, dad listened to AC/DC, something like that, or mom was into like Bette Midler, it was that time frame, Barbra Streisand, all of those greats there. Was there anything like there that you'd kind of sit there with your mom or your dad and maybe just sing with them or like play around with?
Largely, it was a very conservative household at that time in particular, and so it was largely church music. And so my mom always played piano, and so she taught my sister how to play piano a little bit too. I can barely fumble around on piano. I limp. I'll say through. My dad always played acoustic guitar, and that's part of the reason why I picked up acoustic as my second instrument. No, the music that kind of what I got from my mom mostly, honestly, was musicals.
Pitch.
Once again, musicals. I listened to a crap ton of Hans Christian Andersen, The King and I, Singing in the Rain. So I also have a huge love of show tunes and musicals. Once again, multiple genres constantly. And then the thing that me and my dad really bonded over was the very first time that he started to realize like, oh, Matthew, he's gonna like heavier stuff. When I was about 6 years old, he put on this like Christian rock album. It was called I can't remember the name of but the song was called This Means War. Okay. And it was like a Christian rock metal from the 80s. And I just like, Dad, you should turn that up. Dad, you should turn that up. Dad, you should turn that. And basically it was until it was like screaming loud in the car when it was just me and him. And that's kind of where he figured out, he's like, oh, he's going to listen to some heavy music eventually someday. And that's kind of how it, and then the other thing that me and my dad really related to was Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Love Jimi Hendrix, especially being in the Seattle area. Jimi Hendrix holds a very special place in my heart. That's really where I started to like, when I started learning Jimi Hendrix, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole different ball game. This is music that I not just want to listen to. I want to learn how to play this because it's another level.
Absolutely. Great influences. And you were lucky though too. Like I know like growing up you were probably like, oh, man, I don't want to sing another Catholic or religious song. But at the same time you got pitch. Because you have like a perfect pitch.
Oh, thank you. It's not perfect yet.
But I'm hearing it. So I'm hearing the lessons. I'm hearing you being able to hear a note and be able to nail that note. You're like right on it like a magnet. I hear that from your work.
That's one thing that I learned that my ears are better than most. And so, but also because of that, I'm very aware when I don't hit it, and it drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I keep practicing it until I get it perfect.
Yep. I can't tell you how many takes I've done on one of the tracks on BandLab to be like, no, it's not right yet. And it could have only been one word, but I have to redo the whole thing over again.
Yep.
Now I've seen that you've only been on BandLab for about a year.
Yeah, it's actually something my friend DJ Tatious, he'd been bugging me about getting on BandLab. Been bugging me like, dude, you should get on. You should try this. You'd have fun with this. You'd like this. And I was like, nah, because I'd always been like my own little music scene, my own little music friends. But it was actually kind of fortuitous. The interesting thing is that we're about 2 years ago now. I hadn't written any music in about 7 years. And I went through, which was incredibly weird because from about 16 to 25, I was constantly like playing music in bands, in church bands, writing like music like that. It was like, that was always, at least at some part of my week, that was gonna happen. So then for 7 years, not doing that, that was odd. And so when my friend asked me, and I finally basically was like, all right, yeah, I'll try it out. Then yeah, it's been a ton of fun being on here. I've honestly really enjoyed it.
Well, I'd say you enjoyed it. Congratulations, you were the winner last month.
Thank you.
It's so funny because I believe you said you didn't even have many plays on that either. Is that correct?
At the time when I was announced as the winner, I want to say it was close to 350 plays. But apparently a couple of those plays were the right people. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I definitely put in effort in that song, and I'm really proud of that song. But I will say there was definitely some luck involved. I'm okay with admitting that.
Well, where can people find your music? Because I know you're not just on BandLab. And I like our artists to, be able to share where they're at. So that way it's not just on BandLab and we can go ahead and support each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the main, I distribute through DistroKid, as I'm sure a lot of people do. So it's whenever I'm releasing something, it does hit freaking everything. But the big ones that I care about, because that's just where I listen to music, is Spotify. And so obviously I've got a Glass Garden artist page there. Then the other place where if you want to be one of those hardcore people and you're like, no, I want to have the digital copy that has like a really good mastering quality, and I want to download it, or I want to actually donate to Glass Garden, then you can go to my Bandcamp profile. And so that's where you can also read a lot of the lyrics of songs, and also stuff that is ancient. There's some really ancient recordings in there. Some of which I'm still proud of, some of which I'm not going to lie, I'm a little embarrassed about, but I'm like, well, maybe someone may like this, hopefully. But
I've already put it out. I ain't taking it down. I'm owning it.
Yeah, I already did that. I gotta own my good with my bad.
So when you record, are you recording through your phone, your computer? Are you going to a studio? Like, how are you recording?
Primarily, I used to do a lot more in the studio, but frankly, technology's gotten so freaking good that everything is, almost every single thing you ever hear from me, doesn't matter where I release it, it's coming from my garage right there. So it's just and I don't have anything fancy. I just do a Focusrite 2i2 like everyone else has, and then an SM7B and an MK4. That's pretty much, and then everything else is just software, and you can get away with that these days, and I love that fact.
Oh yeah, and to make the sound quality like is being made, yeah, you can't go wrong. And it saved you how many thousands of dollars from going to a studio?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And some of the studios that I've worked in, like, yeah, they're hundreds of dollars per hour, and
if not thousands nowadays, depending on where you live, depending on what state. I mean, I've seen like $2,500. for our studio, and that's just an hour of time.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful way that music creation is accessible to the masses, and I think that's actually one of the big reasons why I'm on BandLab, because I truly believe that the digital audio workstation being on a browser, yes. I think that's the frickin' future, man. I really do.
It is. I totally believe that too, and you're able to collaborate with anybody you want,
which is so handy.
All around the world, like actual make connections all around the world. I don't think any other platform did that. Not even Facebook, which is a social media, strictly social media. I don't think it has connected as many people as BandLab has.
As far as making meaningful connections, yeah, it's and meaningful new ones. Like that's the really unique thing. Yeah. It's like you immediately have something in common based off of the fact that you love to create music together. So you have some commonalities instantly. And then you have a good sharing tool that allows you to actually get some stuff done, because previously, 5 years ago, like that would have been pulling teeth to get done for most people.
Right. Where do you see yourself going in the future?
As far as with music, my big goal, because I've been a part of bands, I've done, my previous career was actually in audio engineering, more on the live side though, and so I've kind of quasi chased record deals, not too seriously. I've done some things, but really what I want to do now is I want to build a following of people that like what I create, and really engage with those people, and then honestly just develop the music enough and develop the following enough that the music can support itself, that it can just support the time that I'm putting in, because I'm only doing this for pride's sake and because I love it. If no one else listens, I do not give a damn, because I know what I'm making, I know what I love, and I know that it's good, and I'm freaking proud of it, so I'm going to release it, and I just want to find more people that think it's cool too.
Yeah, if you don't like coffee, then drink tea. Let me ask about this piece, I Wish.
Okay. So what do you want to know about it?
Where did it come from? The idea, the music, the lyrics, where did it all come from?
I Wish was a freaking that was a labor of love, because so I had rewritten several in particular the first thing that you hear of I Wish, I've rewritten that like 5 times, and actually the chorus from I Wish actually was a chorus that got cut from another song. That it was kind of funny. A friend of mine that I was sharing it to, I was like, okay, dude, what do you think of this? And he's like, honestly, the chorus of this song doesn't work.
I love when that happens.
And so I actually was able to repurpose the chorus, because I was like, I love this chorus, I can't let it go. So I basically created a song so that way the chorus could still survive and get released. But the lyrical content, is all about that moment, all the thoughts and feelings that you have when you are fighting with your significant other. And that is the reason for the type of music that you hear in I Wish. There's moments where it's like, okay, this is intense, this is hard. There's moments where it's like, oh, this is really soft and quiet, because there's moments when you're in the fight that like everything calms down. You're like, what's going on? And then there are moments of just sheer unadulterated fucking rage, because you feel all of those things and you think all those things. So a lot of the lyrics come from that place, because me and my wife, I love her, and we have gone through a lot of hard shit, and we have worked on our marriage a lot, and it's been totally worth it and awesome. But you also have to acknowledge where you came from, and also share with other people, like, hey, marriage isn't perfect. That's not a destination. That means that's when the work starts in earnest.
Yes. Facts there. I love it too, because your wave file on I Wish, it looks exactly like the story that you have that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? I want to make little creatures in my music.
So I am part of it once again, because as we kind of mentioned earlier, I grew up on 90s country. We played, I played a lot of church music, recorded a lot of church music. I listened to a lot of musicals. there's so many different things that I pull from that are just in my head all the time. That's part of. So I will do moves and I will do musical transitions that most other people won't see coming from a mile away because it's very out of character. It's not like, for instance, a friend of mine, I was showing him the demo of I Wish. I was like, okay, hey, what do you think? Constructive criticism, because I very much so believe in that. You got to rewrite the crap out of your songs if you're going to put out good work. And he was like, oh no, this is great. And I was like, okay, I'm concerned about the structure. Is this throwing the structure? Will this throw the listener? He's like, no, it's like, you didn't break any like songwriting rules. Like, no, this is totally normal. I was like, bro, the chorus starts in the middle of the song in a weird place. I don't repeat two of these parts. And I actually, it blows out traditional songwriting structure completely. It does. But because it's done in a very theatrical and very moving, intentional way, it's not offensive to your senses. And that's my goal, is like, do something different, but you still, it's a journey that you're totally happy to have, but it's just a new kind of journey.
And take care of your ears. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead. Let's listen to I Wish.
All right.
Let's check it out. I Wish. Glass Garden. You can find him on BandLab today. Same name at Glass Garden.
I'll mention this one thing before we get started. Sorry to interrupt, but this is actually something that is an exclusive to Angified. This is getting released only because we're doing this. This is actually stuff that previously was on Spotify you could not get on anywhere else on BandLab, but now here it is on BandLab because we're doing this.
That's right. Let's do it. Sharing the love, sharing the music. I love it, Glass. Let's do it. I Wish.
Distance can break our lives in an instant. The blame game that we play takes us further from coexistence. Threatened by communication, one guarantees separation. No matter what I say, this always ends the same. So explain to me why the hell I'm fighting for. Chaos. The memory of who we used to be is blurry. The future life we wanted together, that we discussed, now pulled down into rubble and debris. I wish that I could do what you wanted me to, but I can't let go. When you brought me this low, so let's find out who's gonna walk, who bears to rise. Threatened by communication, will guarantee separation. No matter what I say, wish that I could do what you wanted me to, but I can't let go, 'cause this is what you don't know. Still I try to do what you want me to, no matter how far I just can't let you go.
Oh, I love that, class.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very proud of that song. It took a lot of work, but
Yes, class.
it arrived exactly where I wanted it to.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And you have a whole bunch of different layers in there. You know, like your harmonies are beautiful. Absolutely
Thanks.
beautiful. And you can feel everything you were going through.
Yeah, that was the goal. Music has to communicate a story and an emotion. And if there's no journey, if
Absolutely. I'm
there's
so
no
big on
emotion,
stories.
then what's the point? Like you got to take your listener on that journey.
Absolutely. Now, when you write, do you write more personally to yourself, or do you write of experience, or maybe something somebody's gone through, or maybe just something made up?
Honestly, I bounce around a ton. Most of the
So all the
time,
above?
it's yeah. But most of the time, when it comes to lyrics, I start with whatever I'm thinking and feeling and experiencing, and that's really the most of the time where I start. It's really more often when I've got an idea, because like I will start pretty much always with music first. Like I will start with like a guitar riff, maybe a drum beat. Sometimes it's a pad thing that I like. I will start there and build a rough architecture. And then I start adding in. And then once I get something rough that I'm like, okay, most of these parts are decent, then I go into, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And now I start adding a melody line first to get like, okay, what do I want to have melody on top? What's the lead thing here? Then after that's done, then I start adding lyrics. I mean, that's not always the case. My creative process definitely flexes.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure there's sometimes you just sit down with like the drum pad or the guitar or something, and like you just free flow off of it, and there's your idea.
Yeah,
sometimes you like sing it first and then write it.
There's one track that hasn't gotten released anywhere, that it was literally just this little melody line that was a background melody line of a game that I was playing that it didn't get featured very much, and I was just like, that melody line is genius. Someone needs to, and I was like, no, I'm doing that. And that was the melody line of a chorus.
Sampler. That's awesome. Can you tell me about Nightmare? Because it looks like this was reimagined.
Yes. So this was kind of a funny story. So once again, my friend DJ Tatious, he was like, okay, Matt, there's this song this other guy did, because when I was like, okay, when I got on Band Lab, I was like, okay, I need to do something to build something of a following, because it's kind of dumb to be on a social media site to share music if you don't share the music to people. So I was like, I need to build a following. I want to do some covers of other artists. And my friend DJ Tatious was like, okay, Matt, listen to this song, and I think we should do this. And I was like, honestly, I'll be completely honest. At first I didn't want to do it. I was like, no, this isn't my thing. I don't know about this. And he's like, well, no. Like, he's like, listen for what it. He's like listen again. He's like, because he's pretty stubborn, and but that's one of the things why we get along, is because we both push each other in a good way. And I was like, okay, I'll take a swing at it and and then I did a rough idea, and then after I was like, crap, dude, you're right. Yep, there's something here. We have to do this. And then by the time it was all said and done, we had this track. And so the lyric ideas really came from the original version. I wish I could remember. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the guy who originally wrote the song. So that's terrible. But he's also named on the track, so it's not like we didn't give him credit or anything. We asked him to.
J66 official.
Thank you. I knew it was like,
you
I
are
was like, Jay,
so
there's a
welcome.
6. But yeah, so he was nice enough to let us cover it. But it was one of those things. We called it Reimagine because we changed so much and we did so many different things. That like we still wanted to honor the original vision,
right?
But then we took it in this whole different direction, and that's what became Nightmares. Nightmares is a very interesting song because I hadn't written anything like this before. This was something that was inspired by some very, very modern, cutting edge pop. Oh crap, what's that name of that show? Euphoria. So the soundtrack for Euphoria, I can't remember the name of the artist who does that. But I listened to several of his things and I was like, man, this is really good sound. And that was where a lot of that inspiration came from. So there's 5-part harmonies in there. There's cool synths. There's some good rap done by DJ Tatious. So it's a very much so a straightforward, cutting edge pop song.
So you don't only like look at things and say, I'm just going to jump on this. You make sure that your quality is there versus the quantity.
That's actually something that I'm still getting used to on BandLab, to be completely honest, is that I'm used to you re-record until it's perfect, because that's where the studios that I worked in and the people that I worked with and the level of musicians that I worked with. That's most of my friends were session level musicians. So walk in, hear something once, play it the right part that needs to be there in the next take, and that's why I'm a session guitarist. So the idea of just throw something out and just go for it and release it's still is a little bit weird for me. I'm trying to find a good balance, but yeah, that is a little bit of something I struggle with.
And I understand that according to your profile on BandLab, you are up for collaborations and writing things, and people can hit you up. Mm-hmm. Do you charge a small fee or ask for a donation? So because you put in a lot of work.
I do.
I ain't gonna lie. Like looking at your waves, looking at how you structure things, how you build things, how you take it 5-part harmonies. You take it above and beyond.
Yeah, and it's once again, that's why I say this is for the love of it. This is for pure pride's sake, is because I love this stuff and I'm gonna do it regardless of anyone else that does it with me or listens. But yeah, when it comes to collaborations on BandLab, pretty much my rules is that I'm happy to almost collaborate with anyone as long as I can see something in their music or in what they do that I'm like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. I like that. Let's work together. And that's purely based off of how much time I have available. Right now I have, but then also on the other side of things, like now, if you want to hire me and you want me to mix you, produce you, write song for you, whatever the case may be, that's it, or play guitar for you. That's a different thing, because then the core difference is here, I get to play whatever I want with someone. And so it's a collaboration. I have creative freedom. So then I do that for free. I don't care. If you want to direct me and tell me the professional musician, the audio engineer, the guy with the music degree, play this part or make this thing that works perfectly with this, that's something that I charge for. So for instance, right now I'm actually, I'm creating on the paying side. So for clients, I have a YouTube channel that reached out to me, and I'm working on some custom music for them. And that's going pretty well. And then I have another client that I'm producing as well, that he was kind of one of those guys that he'd never built his own. He's always wanted to do something professional sounding. And so he's like, hey, can you do this? And so I'm basically producing him, taking from nothing at all. And we're going to have a full track. Everything is going to be, sounding awesome. And so, yeah, so that's kind of the difference.
I love it. So if you guys want anything, you know who to hit him up. He is the man, Glass Garden. So yes, message, follow, share, check him out. Bandcamp, Spotify, do it.
Do it.
Yeah, or else I'm just gonna have to come kick your butts. All right, so we gotta play Nightmares Revision. I'll tell you what, when I listened to this song earlier, and so you're gonna see plays on this and on your other ones that you just uploaded, and I've gotta tell you, I was listening to them, so just so you know.
That's good. That's good.
I had to check him out before you came in. Amazing. I don't know what else to say. You left me speechless, Glass.
That's the hope.
Score. All right, let's check out Nightmares Reimagined. As you can go ahead and see here, DJ Tatious is in this at DJ Tatious. There's two others. Let's this all up like this, so you can get at J66.
Yeah, J66. Yeah, he deserves a shout out for sure. He was the original writer on this.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna follow both of these guys because, like I said, I heard this and you guys like totally left me speechless. Let's do it. I think my favorite part is the whispers in that.
That was one of the last things I added to that track. Actually, it was completely on impulse. I was like, man, I want this vibe to be a little more creepy at the end. And so the whispers and then doing some pitch shifting stuff, and I was like, that'll be fun. That's cool.
It sounds like you put some like bells or chimes in there.
It's not bells. It's really just a synth that is EQ'd like crazy to do something very, very, very specific. And that's why you get that bell vibe. And then tons of reverb.
You know the tricks.
I knew a few.
Yes. So that's why, and I was hearing it. I was hearing, as it was going down inside that song. Beautiful. The lyrics too. I had to show off those lyrics too. They're absolutely beautiful, and I had to show those off as well because a lot of times we listen, but we don't read at the same time. Mm-hmm. And when we read and listen, it's a whole different connection that it can build.
Yeah, for sure.
So your lyrics are impeccable.
A lot of those are J66 and DJ Tatious. I think I only had, I think there lyrics wise, I only added a couple of things on that one.
Well, J66, you did amazing.
I did.
Amazing. Yeah. Great. Oh, all right. Tell me about Summer Changes Everything, because it does. The Sunset, B-side, yes.
Yeah, so this is one of those. Me and DJ, we were working on. We had kind of a straight up. This is one of those problems of being a multi-genre dude. Is that so? He came to me and said, "It's actually a whole different concept." He's like, "Oh, I found this one singer I'd really like to collaborate with. We should do this, this acoustic, summer vibe thing." I was like, "Great." He was like, "Yeah, I really want a summer song." And unfortunately, that's the thing that just sat in here. Is like, what does a summer song say to me? What's a fun summer song? And when I was like, 18, 19, going to the lake. Yeah. And then I texted him later on. I was like, sorry, man, I went rogue. I'm not going to lie. And then I wrote like a straight up Blink-182, pop punk, pure fun summer jam. And he's like, man, I really like this. This is a lot of fun. By the way, can we still do that acoustic thing we were talking about? So that's what this is. It's actually kind of funny. You can't even really detect it, but this entire melody line was actually several ideas that we had talked about using in that other song that we didn't actually use. And so basically the melody line, you could pretty much track it with the other song and it'll work perfectly. So it's kind of funny. That's why it's a B-side, is because this is more about talking about a summer when it's happening, when you are with your friends and, in your, young in your teens, and you're just having a great time that you're out of school. And then the other version is thinking back on it when you are, my age, when you're in your 30s and you're looking back and like, man, that was a good time. So these are two different sides of the exact same coin. So that's why it's a B-side.
I love it. It reminded me of like the cassette. Mm-hmm. You had to flip.
Yeah.
A-side, B-side.
Kind rewind.
Yes. And then CDs started doing that. So you'd see A-side, B-side. It would happen with movies and things like that. So that is awesome. There was another artist that actually had done that like a long time ago. And it was really funny because he had made this song and he put it on the B-side thinking nobody's going to ever listen to it. And it ended up being, and I can't think off the top of my head who it was, but it ended up being like the biggest hit.
Oh.
Yeah, it actually turned out like a song that, and it's funny sometimes because you think, oh, this is going to be great, and then some of the ones, you said, this wasn't my best work, and those are the ones that like take off like wildfire and you're sitting back and saying, how did that happen? Like, I beat myself up with this piece and I know like I totally could do better, but I beat myself with this piece. I had to stop here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it trended, it featured, it just took off.
And that's the unpredictability of music and relatability. Some things that don't relate to you will relate a ton to someone else. And it's just, that's why you just put out your art and you hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, it is definitely summer glass.
That it is.
And you glassavilled it. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to check out this summer on the B-side. This is awesome. Thanks so much again for joining me.
Absolutely. No, I'm having a ton of fun with this because I love talking about all the crap that goes on in my head when writing these things, and because there's so much intentionality and there's so much painstaking effort. So I love talking about it.
Yay. All right. Well, summer changes everything but that. We're going to continue to do that, even though it says everything. Here's the Sunset B-side.
Shine down on amazing times. You and I find a better state of mind. The warmth of your smile shining on my face. You know that summer changes everything. Been stuck in a rut. It's been really tough. Out here doing my best, but it's never enough. Hitting 5 o'clock and that's a full stop. Running from my job, grab my bag, jump the countertop. Winter's dead and gone and spring is fading. Why'd it take so long? I barely made it. You know hopelessness dies with the shade. 95. Yes, that's the sweet spot. That's when I come alive. So show me what you're looking your best in that breathtaking sundress. So kiss me softly, sigh my name. Adventures waiting and summer changes everything. Take my hand, it must be fate. And every day is summer when you're here with me. So let the light shine down on amazing times. You and I find a better state of mind, the warmth in your smile shining on my face. You know this summer changes everything. Got a 20 for gas and gonna meet up. Burning through the grass in her flip-flops, throwing all her shirts off, standing up the boat dock. Turn the volume up, it isn't loud enough. Get a running jump for the lift off. Shake the water off to do it all again. You know my heart is racing. Kiss me softly, sigh my name. Adventures waiting and summer changes everything. Take my hand, it must be faded. Every day is summer when you're here with me. So let the light shine down on amazing times. You and I find a better state of mind, the warmth in your smile shining on my face. You know that summer changes everything. Let's roll the windows down, turn the headlights off and drive by the moonlight. Just drive by the moonlight. Roll the windows down and turn the headlights off and drive by the moon. Just drive by the moonlight. Roll the windows down, turn the headlights off and drive by the moonlight. Just drive by the moonlight. Roll the windows down, turn the headlights off and drive by the moonlight. Drive by the moonlight.
Oh, that was absolutely gorgeous. Your harmony and are sick.
Thank you. Yeah, I love, like I said earlier, I grew up and really loved acoustic music in my high school years, and I practiced a ton on it. So it's actually, that was one of the things that out of high school when I was doing a little bit more session work as a guitarist, that was actually what I did the most of, was country and acoustic stuff.
Oh, I believe that. It's Mr. Shania Twain. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, and you could tell you really connect with the guitar.
I do.
Your vocals, like, it's made to be backed by a guitar.
And that's something I try to do very hard, is that there's
But
a lot
then
of like,
again, I have to think, because I wish like your metal screams are immaculate.
Thank you.
They're awesome. So I don't know. You are so many genres. I like you in all of them so far. I love it.
Thanks.
Okay. So as far as collaborations, it seems like you pretty much go off your friend, DJ Tatious, to kind of guide you on the music wise.
Not as much on the music, actually. It's more on like the melody lines. Like, where the great thing about me and DJ, why we work together a ton. One, we've known each other for years, so that's easy. And also we're very similar personalities in regards of, we're both uber responsible. So like if he says he's going to deliver me something on Tuesday, it's happening on Tuesday, and I don't have to worry about whether or not. And same thing back and forth.
Nice. Yeah.
So he's actually one of so I've worked with a lot of different musicians over the years. He's actually one of the best I've ever worked with because of that, the fact that we both are very responsible. He wants to own more things about the process because, as you can kind of tell, with all the different things that I can do, most of the time when I get in a room, I'm the one that's writing everything and doing everything and producing everything. And this is one of the reasons why I'm probably not going to ever be in a band again, quote unquote band, is because I just got tired of having to collaborate with other people, listening to their opinions, but I'm still the one doing all the work. But what our skills are very, so DJ, he thinks of things melody and vocals first. Like that's always like everything is like, that's where he's always leaning to. That's where he's thinking about the mix. That's what he's thinking about composition wise. Me, on the other hand, I always think music first. Exactly.
Yeah, like I could totally tell. Like you lay down the grass and then you put like the backdrop and the sky. And then after that, you start laying down the cement and building of how many layers or levels you want in your building. And then you add the glass in there, right? Well, along with the curtains.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. I love it. Okay, so you have to tell me about You Get Me, because I totally get you.
So You Get Me, this was I was interested, once again, DJ was bugging me about doing contests, and I basically said no for most of them. I was like, I'm not interested. That doesn't excite me because I do this for pride's sake and love's sake.
Right.
And then this one, I heard one of the contest tracks, and I was like, I can hear some potential, and I was like, that might be kind of fun. And then also this contest, working with, getting your song mixed by Zach. And I was like, all right, that'd be kind of cool if that, I was like, I don't think that's going to happen, but that'd be kind of cool. I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm just going to try. Who cares? And so I of course, cause he's been on this platform longer than I was like, okay, I'm thinking of doing this. And he kind of gave me like some pointers of like, okay, here, but he's like, but dude, you need to realize you're starting late. He's like, you probably should have been working on this about a week or two ago. I was like, all right, what's the drop dead date? How much time do I need for some quote unquote marketing time so people get a chance to listen and share and all that? He's like, this date. And I was like, that's in 4 days. Gotcha. Okay. So I turned around this whole song in 4 days. And so it went from absolutely, from the basic track that everyone knew to what it became for the You Get Me. And it's kind of funny because I've been trying to get a whole lot. A previous flaw of mine as a writer is I would write things too high for my register because I was just too excited about it. Like, oh yeah, it should be this melody line. And so I've been getting better about that. And so in this song, the melody line that I was excited about is that thing like way up here, screaming high, like get me going. And I was like, well, crap, I'm excited about this. And what I was trying to do in order to make the time, I was like, I am not questioning any decision I make. I'm just making the decision. I'm moving on. And so that's what I did. And that's what became You Get Me. The only thing that I want to say about You Get Me, because a lot of things, it's very obvious. I pulled some Ed Sheeran influences. I pulled some K-pop influences. But one of the things that I threw in there is an anime reference that no one has picked up yet. And I honestly thought, I was like, crap, people are going to make fun of me for this because this is just some silly anime thing. But no one's even commented or picked up on.
I don't even know too much about anime to even be able to pick it up.
It's all good. It's not that important, but I just always found that funny, so I had to mention that before we listened.
So everybody out there, you better listen and see if you could pick up it. And if you can pick it up, let Glass know, and he'll let you know if you're correct or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, let's go here and see if I can pick it up, even though I don't know nothing about anime.
If you don't know anything about it, it's all good. No, it's no big deal.
But that's okay, because the audience might. So.
They might.
Let's do it. Yay.
Yeah.
How it felt when I saw you the first time. I saw it happen to them and noticed to stitch with my friends. Finding love didn't look so sublime. Why can't I concentrate? At school but often late. Wonder where she's at today. Seems I'm stuck here in the days. She annoys me like hell sometimes, but I guess that's what I like. 'Cause in soon as you go, and that's why I can't let go. You got me with your love. The feelings are getting strong. Got no control where my head goes. I hope to God you know you're where I belong. Completely terrified of what she thinks. 'Cause I swear she looks deep inside of me. She tells me I'm a jerk and that I'm the worst. But why is she still smiling? This girl's gonna be my ending. What can I do? What can I say? Probably won't get her anyway. My heart won't stop night or day. This will only end in pain. Annoys me like hell sometimes, but I guess that's what I like. 'Cause in as soon as you go, and that's why I can't let go. You got me with your love. The feelings are getting strong. Got no control where my head goes. I hope to God you know you're where I belong. What can I do? What can I say? I guess I'll keep hoping for someday.
4 days. Absolutely awesome. And I don't know if it was in the beginning verse with the girl with 2 legs. That's all I can think of when I think of anime. They look like little squishy things.
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. But we'll leave it a mystery. We'll leave it a mystery.
Yes,
People
we'll
that
leave it a
know.
mystery. You'll have to let me know because I don't know anything about anime after later on.
That's
Oh my goodness. I still can't believe only 4 days and you were able to come out with that.
Well, and that's one of the things that actually I was kind of chatting about it with an artist who's a friend of mine here that I went to their show recently, and it was something that was very, very telling, that because his whole process is he basically tweaks into oblivion, like every melody line, every chord, every anything, he tweaks it until he's completely happy with it. But of course, that approach you means you take an eternity to release anything. Now you're very happy with it, but it takes an eternity. And especially if the goal is to, well, one, in this case, just meet a freaking deadline.
Right.
You're kind of like, well, this better be good enough.
Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes like some things like stumble right in front of you and you're like, okay, do I or don't I?
Yeah, and that was kind of what it was. It's like, I don't have time to rethink what this melody line should be. I don't have time to rethink like what this chord structure should be. It's like, you just got to go. And
Yeah.
fortunately, it seemed to work out.
It did, very much so. Absolutely love that one. Congratulations again. I'm still mind blown. 4 days and you came up with that. Gosh, I want to pick your brain bank on your lyrics.
All right.
I can't believe like 7 years you stopped writing and doing things and you were like 4 days you pop up with something like that, like finished product. Bam.
Well, I put in an enormous amount of time, and that's the
Oh, I
reality.
know. You can hear it. You put that work in. And
That's the only way
you
that
say
happens.
enormous amount of time. Like, it's funny because BandLab only gives you 16 tracks. But once you're actually done mixing it in Cakewalk or Reaper or whatever anybody is using out there, like 250 later if you're really working on it.
Yeah, my songs are usually somewhere between 30 to 50 tracks. That's just normal. And the fact is that I'm also taking out several tracks because I just use, I mainly use, like, for instance, for drums, I just use a MIDI drum. So it's like, I don't even have, like, normally, like, previously in other bands, like, I was dealing with, a whole onslaught of 24 tracks just for drums for all the mic sources. And so yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Nice. Are you using the MIDI drums on BandLab?
No, I pretty much use everything in Ableton. The reason why is because I'll just be honest, I'm picky. I also need a certain level of responsiveness. And I was trained on Pro Tools. That's where, with my audio engineering degree, was all on Pro Tools. And I switched to Ableton largely because of I just saw a lot of flaws in Pro Tools as far as, like, it was meant for tape. That's how it was originally designed and built. Yes. And then they kind of slowly morphed it into a digital audio workstation. Mm-hmm. Ableton was built and designed to be like, no, this is a digital station, and it has more normal file management things. Like, I remember the first time I upgraded from Ableton 10 to 11, it was insane because I was able to open up a previous session that I had in Ableton 10. In Ableton 11, everything instantly worked. And in Pro Tools, sessions, oh man, that would not have happened. So that's why I'm there, and that's why I work in there. I don't work too much in the BandLab DAW itself, except for mostly for sharing. That's where it works really, really well, and helping and, like, each other moving different things around.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you're so awesome. All right, tell me about Nagato. Did I say it right?
Nagato. Very close.
Nagato.
So Nagato, once again, because apparently I've got an anime itch. This one is one of those songs that I actually started with. It was the very first riff that you hear was what started everything.
Okay.
And I started it, and I was like, oh, well, this would be kind of a fun little melt thing here. Actually, so what I actually started, and then I made a generic, kind of more just like a generic metal song for BandLab as a forkable track. So I was like, okay, look, I want to find more metal hard rock creators on BandLab. Here's how I'll go find them: is I'll put out a forkable track. So that's where it started. So what I wanted to do is I kind of want to show people, like, okay, I'll give you the same starting place as me, and let's see what you come up with, because I'm just curious. It's just fun for me. And then this Nagato is actually what I do with that same idea and fleshing it out. Obviously, there's a whole lot more stuff going on now. And this is another one that's an exclusive for Angified. This one, actually, the second we're done playing this, I'm pulling it back down because I'm not done with it yet. There's a couple of moments that I'm not going to lie, I'm going to cringe when I hear them. No one else is probably going to care, but so it's not done yet, but this is just something to show everyone what's coming up next. And so this is, once again, an exclusive for Angified. Now what the lyrics are. So obviously you kind of know that my process is mostly I start with the track and then I go to lyrics. Right. And the lyrics, I'm not going to lie. When I first started writing this, I was like, I got the phone call that a dear friend of mine had cancer 5 minutes before walking in to go write. And I was like, and so it's crashing
at that point.
So at that moment, I'm just like, holy crap, I cannot believe this is happening. Because this is, like I said, a good long-term friend of mine, and we don't know what's going to happen. And so I just started writing whatever came out of my mind. And then it moved into this thing where I started developing this image in my head of what I was, almost like an image of what I was feeling. It's a weird way to describe it, but
nope, completely understand. It's an artist thing.
It is, and then it became this thing of this image of someone young walking into the woods. Somewhere really scary, somewhere very threatening, and yet they choose to walk in. And then it became like, and then I was like, and I left alone for a while, and I was like, what is this about? And I kept writing, and it became this basically a villain story, the story of someone moving from being, an innocent child, a person that was good, a person that believed good things, and then how they slowly get twisted and contorted and become this hellish person. And that's part of, and the reason why the name Nagato is chosen is because that's actually his story. He's a character that he starts out as this kind-hearted boy, finds out that he has these incredible powers, and he's decides that he's going to use them to make the world a better place and keep everyone safe and stop wars. But the unfortunate thing is that one of his friends get killed, and one of his dear friends gets killed, and then from that moment on, his entire worldview shifts and changes and twists, and that's why at the end, exactly, it gets from this like it almost goes from someone that you want to root for, and then you get this thing of like no, trust me, this will all make sense, and doing all these terrible things ends all justify the means. This will all make sense. Don't worry about it. Just follow me. Just listen to me. Do what I say. And that's why the song bounces around different feelings, is because there is this almost twisted altruism of, oh, he wants to make the world a better place and wants to make the world a peaceful place, but the way he's going to go about it is going to be horrendous, nasty, terrifying, and killing lots of people in the process.
So the villain could actually be cancer in this situation.
In a weird way, yeah, it kind of is. And that's part of why it's so all these very weird, intense feelings and pictures. And so that's why when you would ask me about where do my lyrics come from, they come from everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah. Nope, I can completely relate to you. We're going to have some fun playing around. All right, let's go ahead. Nagato. Did I say that right?
Nagato. Very close.
Nagato. I'm going to screw it up like 50 times. Yeah, I learned how to speak English once upon a time. I just can't pronounce it very often. Here we go. Nagato.
An Angified exclusive. Never heard anywhere on the internet yet.
And you won't hear it anywhere for a while until he's done.
Until I'm finished.
You guys get teased. Na 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 na. Ha ha. Here we go.
bear with me now. The weight of all my crowds, you'll never see the real me, or how I control everything. I can't stand this pain. I'd rather feel nothing alive. Shouldn't be this way. I can't stand this pain. I'd rather feel nothing alive. Shouldn't be this way. Trust me, it'll make sense.
Badass. Badass. Badass.
I love that ending. I have one of the things that I've been like struggling with emotionally is like I love that one ending in that part, and I want to double it. I haven't found a reason to justify it yet, so that's the whole thing. It's art and process.
Yes. Yes. And I love being an artist. And I know you love being an artist and creating such beautiful canvases and pieces, masterpieces that people can look at and really feel.
Yeah, that's the hope, is that you feel the journey of like of someone who used to believe one thing, used to be one thing, becoming something else.
Yes. Oh, you're incredible. I have a question. I have one last question for you before we wrap this up.
Absolutely.
If there was another artist out there on BandLab, a younger artist or an artist that is, learning and wants to become better, do you have any advice for them?
Oh, I got all kinds of advice.
Don't quit, obviously.
The first one is first piece of advice I would say is learn as many different things as you can. Like, do not be like for instance, this is one thing that I see a lot is like, oh, I am just a rapper, or I am just a vocalist, or I am just an engineer. I really push against that, obviously, because I do a billion different things. But one of the things, there's several things that are really important about being a multi-talented and multifaceted person is because, one, you don't necessarily know what you do best. You don't actually know that until you try a bunch of different things. So if the goal is to find your future profession, you got to try a bunch of different types of music work to figure that out. The other thing is that if you're going to be self-sufficient, you're not going to get a label behind you until they are already convinced that you are making money now, so that way you can make them money later. So you have to understand that you're going to need to be self-sufficient for a really long time. So you either need to have a killer high-paying job that can pay for your engineer, that can pay for your writer, pay for your producer, whatever you need that you can't do, or you need to learn those skills yourself. You need to be so that's why I recommend you need to be a decent audio engineer. You need to be a decent melody line writer, and you need to be decent at basic music theory. And those, if you can figure out basic pop rules, figure out basic audio engineering, and figure out basic music theory, you will be head and shoulders above most people that are trying to do this.
Yes. Oh, I love that advice. You got to put the work in.
You gotta. There is no way. Like and that's one thing that's kind of I don't like, is that there's this feeling and vibe and opinion out there that like, oh, someone's just an amazing singer and then they get picked up and their life's changed. That happened in the 70s, maybe.
Actually, 70s, it happened 80s. To Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Well, she was pumping gas.
Yeah. and back then, like that was it late 90s, no, late 80s or early 90s?
Late 80s, I want to say.
So but that's pretty much done now. Like because you can't just be a good singer. You have to be the whole package. And so work on being the whole package. You can do it. It's not that hard.
Open your mind. Let it in. And then once you let it in, I'm going to pick your brain banks. Ha! Give me Angified. Yay! Sharing the love. It has been so amazing, Glass, having you here with me. I hope you had fun.
Angie. I did, and thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun to talk and share my music, so I really appreciate what you do and your energy, the fact that you're just like happy to be excited about everyone and everyone's music. That's really special and cool. So thank you, and keep doing what you're doing, because there honestly needs to be more of that. There needs to be more people that are happy to support and share and build communities, because then it makes this whole music thing more fun.
It does. It does. Oh, I love it. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to keep on going. You don't worry about that.
Good.
I'm going to keep building this Angified family, and we're all going to keep going and building such a beautiful community and artists. And we want you to be heard, be you, and be original. No duplicate copies. Right?
Yep, exactly. And that is the reality, is that's the reason why everyone should have their art. Everyone should do it, is because no one's going to say what you say. No one's going to write what you write. No one's going to want to hear what you want to hear.
That's right. And if they don't like it, too bad. They want coffee? No, they got tea.
They can have tea.
Well, everyone, this has been a great interview with Glass Garden. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, not just on BandLab, but Bandcamp, Spotify. Check him out, send him a message, and keep creating. We'll see you next time.
I'm gonna spread love or hate. I'm gonna spread love or hate. I'm gonna spread love or hate.
Oh yeah, we have a great show for you tonight. You know it's coming to you. We have DJ Tatious. That's right. Woo! He's coming to us tonight on Angified. Make sure to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to DJ Tatious at DJ Tatious on BandLab, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Let's go ahead and welcome him tonight here on Angified. Hi, DJ Tatious.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going beautiful. I hope you're having a wonderful evening.
I am. It's been crazy, but I'm here now and I'm happy.
Yay! Well, we're going to have some fun and we're going to find out more about you. So, I need to ask, because it looks like you have been going out and doing music for quite some time.
I mean, a little while.
Yeah, a little while.
A little
All
while.
right. Well, did your grandparents, were they musically inclined? Did your grandparents love music and you kind of grew up with that in your genes? Or was it something that you just fell into and just said, this is me?
You know, I don't know if my grandparents were super musically inclined, but my mom was really into singer-songwriter stuff from the early mid 90s.
Okay.
And so we hung out when she was in college, and it was herself and me and my brother. We actually hung out with a lot of the indie musicians and went to little bookshop, coffee shop gigs. And that's actually one of our indie musician friends named Sarah Hickman from Austin, Texas. That's the first album I was ever on as a secret track when I was 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible to be working with someone at that age.
It was a love letter to her when we were getting ready to move to Seattle. It was just about how I would miss her. And I recorded it on this really old, probably from the 80s cassette deck that had a built-in microphone. So the sound quality is horrible. And it's just 7-year-old me talking about what a great singer she is and how much I'll miss her. And she decided to put it the hidden track on one of her albums called Two Kinds of Laughter, and it's on iTunes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So she was like your inspiration, your mom?
Yeah, my mom is my inspiration for a lot, but definitely someone who exposed me to music. She didn't do any kind of music. My dad was more the musician, but my mom exposed me to all the music that made me go, I like writing this stuff.
So you found more in the lyrics and the writing more than you did with the composing.
Yeah. I work a lot with, you've actually had Glass Garden on your show before. I work a lot with him. We've known each other for a long time, but he is more of a musician, actually probably the ultimate musician. And I am more of what I would call a beat poet. It started with like poetry, moved to rapping, and then I was like, Owl City's pretty cool. I could do dream pop.
Yeah. Very cool. And so did you do anything like in high school with friends? Because I like you went from being 7 years old to like current, and Matt's amazing.
How old do you think I am?
Amazing. You've got to be maybe in your mid-20s.
Wow. Yes. Thank you. I'm actually 34. I'm 34. Mid-30s.
Wow. See that? Music keeps you young.
It totally does. Totally does.
It frees your soul.
To answer your question, high school, I mean, middle school was a lot of choir and jazz choir. And then high school is when someone introduced me to Fall Out Boy when I was working at a Hollywood video.
Nice.
Yeah. And I got introduced to Fall Out Boy, which made me fall in love with all of like punk pop, punk rock. My stepsister was really into like Blink-182 and Green Day. And I think I survived 97 to 99 on like the Dookie album alone. So,
oh yes, that one was awesome. We all looked for that hidden track on Dookie too.
Right. But,
so your poetry and your rapping, your poetry, did that change then when you like discovered like all this new like grunge and alternative and different spectrum of music?
Totally. I think that's when I realized that in poetry, there's so much more than what I thought it was. And what I was actually doing when I wrote poetry was I was writing hooks. So it turns out that I wasn't great at writing poetry. I was good at writing choruses. And so I heard these punk pop guys singing about how they can't stand their girlfriends anymore because they cheated on them and they miss their hometown. And I'm like, wait a second, this sounds a lot like late 90s country music, but with a better beat. I can get behind this. And the older I get, the more I just love and appreciate the memories of 2008, that moment in time. I'm like, man, this is where they got it from. This is what these guys were writing about. And so now Glass Garden, I just write punk pop summer songs.
And you guys are killing it. You guys are literally killing it. All the Band Lab contests that you guys have been winning, like one after another, geniuses. Like you said, like with Matt Glass, he is probably like the ultimate musician.
He really is.
With all of his background and experience, and then with your writing and your imagination and creativity behind it. Because I'm sure you touch spectrums of music that he didn't. Especially when it comes to the poetry and the rap.
Yeah, well, he is super emotional in his lyric writing, but I always tell Matt that we're like two pieces to that yin yang, right? Yeah. He's the yin and I'm the yang. He's got like this metal, the real emotional, angry, and that really shows. All of his music. He goes for this professional sound every time. It doesn't matter who he's working with. He's going to put his all into everything. And then I'm on the other side and I'm like, look, all I want to do is make people feel happy. Like I don't have to speak Japanese to be able to speak to someone with dream pop, make them feel like they're floating on the clouds, and just take someone's crappy day and turn it into a good day.
Exactly. I don't need to understand what you're saying to feel you.
Yep.
And you can hear that with the emotion, both that you put in your tracks and that he puts in his.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So let me ask, who do you intend to inspire in the future?
So I have two little kiddos under the age of 10 running around my house, and I have a beautiful wife. And the moments that almost bring me to tears are when I'm running around my house and my son will run out of his room, yelling the chorus B section from my Star Wars track that I wrote.
Yes.
So he's just running around going, "Get steady, get ready, loaded chamber, pull the trigger." And I'm like, "Bro, you're going to school in a few days. You can't say that at school." They don't understand it's Star Wars, buddy.
Yes.
So they'll run around the house singing my songs. "Dad, play the song you wrote about us. Play the song you wrote about Mom."
That's
beautiful. So that's who I want to inspire.
That's awesome. I had to ask that question because I have taken notice that you also intend to inspire musicians out there with their ideas and kind of open up their minds. We have a track that we're going to be playing in a little bit that I seen you put a post up the other day. You want to hear some of the renditions and things that people did with your piece.
Yeah, good catch.
Is there a specific audience that musician out there that maybe you've seen yourself as being that you hope to like inspire to say, hey, this is where you can be, or, with when you do that stuff?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The post you're talking about is just, we can talk more about it, but this song came to my mind, and it was wholly inspired by, there was a band called Go Periscope from Seattle, and they're not super huge, but I invested so much into listening to their music and this vibe and this style they put off. And then you couple that with Owl City's like real smooth vibes, and then you add in Echo Smith and their verbiness. And it's like being in a trance, driving in a freeway at 2 a.m. in Seattle, and the streetlights are just, and the music is just keeping you moving. But inspiring artists is, I'm by no means a phenomenal vocalist, a phenomenal writer, a phenomenal composer, arranger. Like, I'm okay, but I'm by no means phenomenal. I want everyone to know that, like, you can make music, and if you have something or some things that you lack, there are others out there who make the pieces to that puzzle complete. Without Glass Garden, I wouldn't be able to put half the things I put in circulation, or without Gramo, I wouldn't be able to put half the dream pop I put in circulation.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yes, I do investigations. So you have to tell me about this song, Brick by Brick, Tear Down the Walls.
Yeah, Brick by Brick is the first BandLab contest I ever won. Coincidentally, it's the first contest I ever entered. So I'm wondering, Glass Garden won his first one. Maybe I don't know. I see you, BandLab, but it's like an addiction. You get that first win and then you're hooked. But Brick by Brick is a song that I did in collaboration with a lab coat named Teddy Bearosaurus. And he used to be in the music industry and now just kind of does his own thing for placement stuff. But I came to him with this idea. Guitar Bart on BandLab won the contest the month prior, which became BandLab's piece for other BandLabbers or lab coats to use. And so I took this idea to Teddy Bearosaurus and I said, I want to scream and I want to talk to people about my faith in God, but not in a way that says, hey, I don't like you if you don't believe what I believe, but more like, hey, the reason I believe what I believe is because I'm the worst sinner. I'm the one who's out here on the street going, being two-faced, and I need to repent of that. And so it's the frustration I have every time I do something that I know I shouldn't. And I just need to come to terms with that. And I just need to, and just like scream. And so that's what Brick by Brick is all about. It's this course A and B of just yelling and screaming, followed by this pissed, I'm pissed, I'm pissed, I'm pissed. Oh no, I lost you, Angie. I can't hear your audio.
Here I am.
Oh, there you are.
I said, it is very frustrating, when you have something and it's almost like you go back to the story where Jesus was betrayed, and it's every single, and that frustration, and how, he sat there before and he said, you're going to betray me. You're going to 3 times, and no way, I'm not going to. And that frustration builds up because nowadays you have to be careful. People don't like being open and talking about religion. People get offended because their beliefs aren't the same. So you kind of have to come to terms and say, I have to accept you for you and who you are and what you believe. And, have that bigger heart that Jesus would have when it comes to saying, I forgive you. We're still going to be friends, even if you believe something completely different, if you don't believe anything, and we'll see, because along those journeys, he shows us magic. He shows us our paths.
There's this awesome adage called love the sinner, hate the sin. And that's one of the things that I do my best to work on and work with. So, yeah. So that's brick by brick.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's give a listen to it, shall we?
Okay.
All right. This is Brick by Brick, tearing down the walls. And at Teddy Barosaurus. I hope I said that right. Here we go. In the description, it says, there is no limit. Acknowledge your value and recognize. Asking for help isn't weakness. Let at Teddy Barosaurus and I break it down for you in this battle cry. Fork This Now, the Academy Rap Hip Hop Academy Radio Trendsetter Vocalist Hot Beats. Here we go with Brick by Brick.
Tear down the wall, wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Tear down the wall, embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build. Tear down the wall, wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Tear down the wall, embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build your way. I can't afford to wait another day. Down this time, assume this life here comes up to the other side. I can't afford to wait another day. You wanna do this? Let's go.
Reflecting the light isn't easy. A flower with withering petals not beating. There's nowhere to hide. They see me. I'm walking around on these streets, deceiving. My words are so seething. Look over there, it's my actions retreating. I feel my heart beating. So why do I feel like I died? Oh yeah, it's my pride. Tear down the wall, wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Tear down the wall, embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build. Tear down the wall, wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Tear down the wall, embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build your way. I can't afford to wait another day. This time let's move this light here comes up to the other side. I can't afford to wait another day. You wanna do this? Let's go. DJ Tatious bringing the flow. Simple incitement of rage to define it. Just get in my face and then scream like you mean it. Just scream like you mean it. It's worth it. I mean, if you work, then it's worth every beat, never cleaner. Retaining the anger as fuel is a dangerous weapon. I bet when you teaching that lesson, you think that you're making them think that they less than, but blinking it's flipping the script. Cause that scrub that you hit with your fist was an angry reflection. Let go of your stress. You are blessed beyond measure. Created a treasure. So sever your selfish ambition and keep moving forward. Accomplish the mission. Cement your position. Repent and release all the hate. It is finished. Don't wait. Tear down the wall, wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Tear down the wall, embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build your way. Tear down the wall, wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Tear down the wall, embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build your way. Wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build your way. Wake up and save yourself with the power on display. Embrace the need for help, and brick by brick you build your way.
Wow. That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Brick by brick, like I was blown away.
Thank you.
You didn't just tear it down, you blew me away. Absolutely incredible. Make sure you guys, you go out and like, share, and subscribe to DJ Tatious. You know what to do. Oh, this is great. I'm loving this.
I love music, so if I had all day, I would talk about it all day.
Where did you get the inspiration? Well, I just asked that, didn't I? Where you got the inspiration for that piece and the collaborator.
Yeah, Teddy.
How did you connect that one? Because that's a tough topic.
Yeah. I think in music specifically, we tend to feel a lot more than we think. And so asking Teddy for help on that was not hard at all, because at the end of the day, we both speak music on that piece. So our belief system might not completely line up, but he heard something there, and he was like, I can work with this, and he could connect to the feelings. And I'll be completely honest with you, if a little bit of my theology and mentality rather happens to slip in when you hear it, that's okay. I mean,
yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't ever stop being you.
I'm gonna do my best.
Good. And if you need help, believe me, I can help. I'll kick you in the butt. I'll tell you, go look at your beautiful wife and kids. And if that doesn't give you a good enough reason, you know it.
I know it.
All right. So we were talking about this song a little bit earlier with that post. My heart was awake, and so was the interstate.
Yes, I'm in love with this song. Like, at the end of the day, this is my favorite thing that I've ever written. I was absolutely heartbroken when not only did it not win, it didn't place. But this song just encompasses everything I liked about Seattle, which was not much, before I moved down to Texas. And this song is my most listened to artist last year on Spotify was Echo Smith. And they have a very specific EP with a song called Get Into My Car. That's just this really dreamy, verby. And I was like, man, I hear something, but I hear it in Go Periscope's voice. And so as a writer, I brought those two things, and I was like, we need strings, we need reverb, we need synths, and we need a hook that just says la da 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 da.
I love it that not only does your brain tell you, like, with lyrics and how to phrase things in a character mode, because it sounds like you get into character mode when you write,
totally.
But you also are seeing the colors of the instruments floating through it before it's even designed. That's beautiful.
Yeah, thankfully Glass Garden speaks that language, because sometimes I'm like, I'm in like a, he's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Yes, he totally does. Okay, so now, do you have this piece forked on BandLab? Do you have it as forkable, or do you want people to reach out to contact you to say, maybe I have an idea to throw on this?
So this particular track, I don't believe it's forkable. Okay. However, I re-recorded the vocals. Okay. I'm a big believer in constant learning, right? So I'm always trying to get better. I re-recorded the vocals and created some a cappella stems. Okay. And so anyone who was serious about it, because anyone can fork something, but I'm actually going to be releasing an EP of the remixes, which we have, I want to say we have 6 or 7 tracks now, by 4 different artists total, including myself. And I will invite them to the a cappella, at which point they can use the vocal stems as they please.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And there's spoiler alert, there are 2 completely different styles of EDM remixes. There is a punk rock reimagining of it. There is an acoustic style dreamy reimagine. And then there's Glass Garden's remix, which currently is only available on Spotify.
Correct. Yes. Oh, you're awesome.
Thank you.
You're awesome. That is a neat way to invite collaborators and the community to kind of hey, just open up. Let me hear what you want to do, you know, kind of doing it in a way that isn't so outspoken, you know?
Well, and it creates community. They can't get
does.
away with going, I'm going to fork this and then leave it for nobody to ever hear. You know, as
Right.
artists, we tend to start things and not finish things because we're like, oh, piece of candy, right? But this way, they have to come to me and we have to start some kind of relationship
Communication, yeah.
that involves you taking something personal to me and making it personal to you. And at the end of the day, I want to know people who are willing to put themselves out there like that.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's check out this song and let's have some fun. You guys know what to do if you'd like to be interested in doing a collaboration with DJ Tatious. You hit him up. He will go ahead. He'll connect back with you. We're going to go ahead now and check out this song. Heart was awake and so was the interstate. It's quite simply the song that he loves the most. It keeps running around in his head and it's going to get stuck in yours as well. He wrote about driving through Seattle on I-5 in the middle of the night and being comforted by that. Those lights beaming down, as he said. The Glass Garden remix is live on Spotify and there's an upcoming Reimagine EP featuring other lab coats giving their takes on it. The description of this song. Night drive. Hashtag favorite things. Mesmerized by the streetlights and letting the rhythm consume me. I am in love with this song. I hope you enjoy the latest DJ Tatious original for the Fabulous Fork contest. Pop electronic songwriter, producer. And away we go.
Headlights brighter than the sun. Night drive. Everything is running through my mind. The pieces in the panic and I find they're playing our song. I want to know you better. Would you give me the pleasure? Baby, it's now or never. I want to know you better. This feeling in my brain, I'm triggered by your name. I need to hear it all again. You know the sound, it consumes me. The room spins around me. This moment just found me. Close my eyes, let it drown me like da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I know why that song, that hook is so stuck in your head. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Totally.
Know you better. Yep. And I think it connects with everybody because I think everybody's been stuck in those lights.
I hope so. I got incredibly lucky BandLab has this huge element of luck to it. And I got incredibly lucky, and I was just playing around with the album creator for the first time. And I decided, let me take all the things that I made that I can get behind from year one, and let me just put them all on an album. And I did. And I don't know, a month later, notifications started popping up, and I was like, what is going on? Well, it turns out it got featured right next to Broke Bugatti, and it was featured in pop for a long time. And so that song now has like 8,000 plays. And it's just
8.12 thousand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Okay. You have to tell me about There's Love and Arson.
Yes. Love and Arson is so cool because it's a dream come true. There is a song I have not released yet that if Glass Garden watches this, he knows eventually I will give up on the instrumentation myself and come to him. But in the meantime, Love and Arson is kind of the realization of what I was trying to do when I decided to seriously create something back in 2020. I tried to create something myself. I wasn't happy with it because I know music from a hearing perspective, but I don't know music from a producing perspective, or didn't. And so I couldn't make it come alive. And so I signed up for a class. My beautiful wife that you mentioned was very generous and was like, why don't you take this money and sign up for Ryan Tedder's songwriting class? Ryan Tedder's the lead singer of One Republic, and he wrote like every song in the world, including things like Halo by Beyonce. And so I signed up for that class, and there were 3 projects that you had to turn in throughout the class. And Love and Arson became the 3rd one. I called up Glass Garden and I said, hey, let's do this one together. Like, I think I want to release something to Spotify that is something that I am part of the whole process on. Teddy Bearsaurus kind of took my vocals and just was like, here you go, bud. Whereas Glass Garden was like, yeah, we can do that. So we met in his garage, which is where he mentioned he does all his recording. And we sat there and we're just like, what does a love letter to summers of 2008 sound like? What does that even sound like to us? And I'm like, well, it has to be kind of fluttery and acoustic-y, but not just acoustic yet. And we have to write about like how everything's always more intense in the summer, just because it is, right? There's no school. There's fewer responsibilities back in 2000.
People sweat more because it gets hot.
Boom. Perfect. You have to give up on not sweating. There you
That's
go.
Right.
But yeah, so he was like, this is it, man. What are we going to call it? And I said, we're going to do a Fall Out Boy song name. And he goes, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And I said, you don't have a choice. And so we went through some variations, and ultimately I sent him this, and I was like, I'm not budging, Matt. And it became There's Love and There's Arson, and sometimes there's both.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go ahead. We're going to check out this song now. I also did notice that you had the video on YouTube for this one. So I did grab that video as well, because you all need to go and like, share, subscribe to him on YouTube, on Spotify, on BandLab. Get out there now.
More YouTube content coming in the future. Like I mentioned previously before the show, I'm building my house down in Texas, and it's supposed to be done October-ish. And I'm actually building a 5x10 small music studio space into it. And that's when we're going to start putting up more of the YouTube content.
Haha. And then you guys have to wait for his EP. I'm getting teased right now.
Lots of good
wait
stuff.
till 2023.
Lots of good stuff in the pipeline, including more with Glass Garden.
Yeah. Awesome. We're going to go ahead. We're going to share this song now. There's Love and There's Arson, and sometimes there's both. Make sure you go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. It is on BandLab here. If I could write a love letter to 2008 and everything it means to me, this song would be signed, sealed, and delivered. A complete collaboration between At Glass Garden and myself. Enjoy punk pop acoustic love song BandLab songwriter. Here we go. Yay.
Oh, you tease me with that smile. You only live once. Those tan lines were calling my name, and the water was glistening. Let's pretend we're kids again. Never think twice. Killing time like it was revenge, but the time is what did us in. The laughs we shared and how we stared into the sun like we didn't care. You hold the key to a memory of perfect peace, and we'll light it on fire like a sunset skyline. I'm game if you are game. The nights were just as warm when I held you close, and I couldn't contain my stupid grin. It was the perfect storm. It felt like time slowed down while my fingers traced your skin. The laughs we shared and how we stared into the sun like we didn't care. You hold the key to a memory of perfect peace, and we'll light it on fire like a sunset skyline. I'm game if you are game. 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 I can feel you there when I close my eyes. Reach out my hands and touch the sky. Whether sun-filled days or rain-soaked nights, we can light it on fire if you are game. The laughs we shared and how we stared into the sun like we didn't care. You hold the key to a memory of perfect peace, and we'll light it on fire like a sunset skyline. I'm game if you are game. I'm game if you are game.
I'm game. That was awesome. Those harmonies, like, oh, it was great. How, like, that was just beautiful.
Thank you. That's what you get when Glass Garden and I are pulling at each other. He is, as you mentioned, he is a pro, as you all mentioned, he's a pro. And at the end of the day, as a pro, he has things inside his head and he's like, this has to happen this way. And then I come in as someone who's not quite a pro, which lets me bring things that maybe aren't by the books. And he goes, you know what? I think we could do that. and then as a pro, he finds out how to implement them correctly. Right. So he'll be like, hey, dial back, DJ. And I'm like, I can't do it. He's like, you need a few more syllables off, DJ. No, I need all the syllables.
Yes. And as a writer, I feel your pain on that. Those syllables matter.
Yeah. Uncomfortable cuts are always necessary. I'm planning on doing a series that I started.
And that's a trick to hooks.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
With the syllables and hooks. That is totally, because everybody tries to get it. And it's funny because they might be able to sing it with you, but then when they try to do it by themselves, they're like, wait a minute. Like, that's the hook line right there. That's that extra syllable that like was placed in so perfectly that you just have to hit just right.
Yep. 100%.
I love looking for those in songs.
I agree.
It's exciting. Okay, so you have to tell me about the song On Purpose and On Mission, because this one's all you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Weird to think about it that way. I have this hashtag that I use all the time called collaboration is key. And I totally believe that. But at the end of the day, BandLab ran a contest back in November of 21, I think. And it was Loopify, where you had to use BandLab's looper packs. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have to play any instruments. I know what sounds good. I just might not know how to bring it from here to here on an instrument. So I went into their loop packs and I was like, what can I do that maybe it's contrasting? What would not feel normal when you read the titles, but would work? And so I went with a pack that I have loved ever since I started BandLab that was called like Anthem Rock or something, because it's super verby and arena rock sound. And then I clashed that with a pack called Country Twang for a little bit of that character and texture. And this song is kind of like the evolution of Brick by Brick. If Brick by Brick is me just being ticked off that I can't get this, then On Purpose and On Mission is me going, God, I can't actually do this without you. So I'm going to step back because I am clearly not capable. And I am just going to pray for the miracle. And, those are the moments when God comes through, is when you put aside yourself and put him in front. So
that's right.
And then my wife is actually hidden in these vocals.
Oh, she included, yay!
But she's hidden back there. Her voice is so perfect for this auto-tuning texture that you have in the second verse. And unless you're really listening for it, you probably won't be able to hear it. But without it, it would be nothing.
Oh, that's awesome. A lot of times spouses and other halves have a problem because it's almost like we're married to the music at different times. And it can be very, it can be very struggling, especially considering like, it's not like we do it on purpose. Time just slips away.
Yep.
Music heals, it's our therapy, and it allows us to express ourselves. So you're on a mission and a purpose. Let's go ahead. Let's check this out.
Okay.
All right. Yay. Make sure you check today on BandLab. This is his second contest win on BandLab. Came from the track created entirely using BandLab loops on mobile, not PC, and some sprinkled in automation on BandLab for PC. BandLab Loopify contest got me writing new originals. I used the Stadium Rock X, Country Twang X. I can never pronounce this word. Numeric packs to create the track for this one. I love uplifting music, creating more trending new rock, create mobile masterpiece. It is so awesome to be able to create things. And thank you, BandLab, for allowing us to go ahead and use your loops and be able to create something completely magical. Here we go with On Purpose and On Mission.
There were days I was drawing on my last breath. You couldn't see it in my face. Took all my energy to hide it. Grasping for control while I'm tripping on my next step. But when I give it all away, I will never be the same again. I'm praying
I love it. I love how you brought your religion and your faith into that one as well.
Thank you.
You know, we don't hear enough of that good stuff nowadays.
Hey, I am wholeheartedly believe that bands like Skillet are doing some really heavy lifting, because there are a lot of people out there who are like, well, Christian music is just terrible. And I'm like, but wait, it isn't though. I mean,
that's right. It's
we're
not.
doing
It's what
it.
we make it. You know, like I know you said you were horrible with like 80s movies and things like that. Do you remember the movie Sister Act?
I
Whoopi
do.
Goldberg. Okay.
But Sister Act 2 is probably more my jam, because there's a moment at the end where this kid hits this phenomenal run, and I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And in that movie, that actually pushed more people to just be kind, you know, to start singing. You know, after Sister Act came out, there were more people that like actually start singing, and you've seen more churches fill up with guitars and more choirs, and they all tried to almost like emulate that. You know,
Yeah.
faith was starting to shine through again. You know, and I think that's the biggest piece that we're all missing is faith.
It's a good thing to have.
It is. It is. And it's beautiful that you are letting it out and letting it be heard.
Thank you.
Yes. 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 Okay. So now I have to ask about this last piece that I have here for you, Chasing the Sun. This is you and Grandma, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Grandma and I have done so many songs together now on BandLab. Grandma is probably the single most positive and encouraging person on BandLab that I've met, in the sense that he will not only be positive and encouraging, but if he sees that you have a new track out, he's going to take the time to sit through that entire track. And then at the end of it, because on PC, pro tip, people know when you comment. They have a timestamp. So if you comment on my track at 20 seconds, I'm going to be less flattered than when you comment at the end. But Grandma will always listen to the whole thing, and then he gives you this just genuine feedback of the particular things he likes about your track. And I'm just always like, dude, I'm blown away by not only the time that takes, but the generosity. And I have this saying that if generosity isn't sacrificial, is it really generous? And so he's sacrificing his time. And so he reached out to me and he's like, hey, you know, you do Dream Pop. I have this beat. What do you think? And that became Standing Strong. And then we had a few more. Pro tip, Bright Side is one of my favorites. But this one specifically is kind of a precursor, because next Friday, this song actually drops on Spotify.
What?
So it's been on BandLab, and then it'll drop on Spotify next Friday. And it is a song all about how I just finished spending almost 6 months away from my family for this move down to Texas. And it makes me emotional to talk about it. But my wife and my kids were up in Seattle finishing out the school year. She's a teacher. They were in school. And I had to start working, because to buy a house, you have to be employed. And so I transferred down here and started working, and was just alone and flew back and forth so often. And there are more songs about it, but definitely this song is all about me being sad, but also like, don't cry. I'm on my way. I got you.
Yeah. Just a matter of time. I will be there soon. Whitney Houston actually got me with one of her songs when my kids were little. You know, I know I'm away for right now, but it's not going to be forever.
Yep.
You know, and I'm sure your wife absolutely loved, even though you weren't there, hearing all these beautiful songs that you wrote for her and sang, and probably cried to her as well, because that was probably difficult for both of you.
Yeah, definitely hard.
Aw. Let me ask, where do you see yourself going in the future?
I just want to keep learning.
Now you're down in Texas. That's never going to stop. You're going to always keep learning, even when we're old and 150 years old. But like, where do you see your music going in the future? Do you see maybe your kids turning, 10, 11, or 7 like you, like when you were and you first did that love song? Do you see them going ahead and saying, we're going to be a family band one day, or do you say, what, like, do you have a son and a daughter?
Yeah. You
got the best of both worlds. So maybe your son says, you know what, I'm picking up those drums, and your daughter says, well, I'm going to play my guitar because I can make mine louder than yours.
Flip it and you got it on the nose. My daughter wants to be the drummer.
Yeah. Look at that. So you are going to have a family band. That's awesome.
How cool would that be?
Right? And your wife is singing it too. So to get her out, and be able to share that with her is truly a gift.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's chase the sun into the future with learning, growing, evolving.
Yep. We don't ever stop learning. And in the future, my music's just gonna hopefully get closer to the sound of Owl City.
And watching your little flowers bloom.
I agree.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and check out Chasing the Sun. This is available now on BandLab. Coming to streaming platforms August 19th. A project with @Gramo, one of many, that talks about my recent time away from my family. In the description, it says, check out our That's a Bop BandLab contest entry, turning pain and loneliness into hope and resolve. @Gramo brought fire to this original song. We are here to create more new dream pop, electronic, trending music and vibe. Let's go ahead and listen to Chasing the Sun. Yay!
We said goodbye the night before. Now it's 3 a.m. and I'm out the door with a longing glance at what's behind. In front of me is a lengthy drive. Prayerfully, we agree to leave the mountains and the trees for a better life and an open sky. I'll pave the way for family.
was absolutely beautiful. I know, like she felt that when you sang that to her.
I hope so.
She do. She had to. Because when you miss somebody and love somebody that much, those words you feel. And I know she felt them because I felt them coming from you. You are amazing in expressing your emotion and putting together all of your great lyrics and words into all these awesome beats. And the
Thank you.
inspiration to go ahead and grab beats like a little bit from here and a little bit from here and a little bit from here and toss it in a blender and say, voila, here is your new breakfast with a rose.
Exactly. And so much more on the way with artists that you haven't heard me collaborate with yet. So
woohoo! I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see what you come out with in the future. It is going to be absolutely amazing. Make sure everyone, you go like, share, and subscribe to DJ Tatious. He is Tatious. And thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you check out Spotify on Friday for that release. I thank you again for tuning in here, and you all have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? I love you, oh loves. Do you have those? Do you wanna share them with me? I love you, oh loves. Oh, do you have those? I'd like to share mine with you. Can we share? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love?